What is Trafficking Hub, first off, and then what's the mission of Trafficking Hub?
Sure. Yes. So the story of the evolution of Trafficking Hub is told in my new book that's coming out, or it's out now. Goodness gracious, as of yesterday. Takedown, inside the fight to shut down Pornhub. But the evolution of the Trafficking Hub movement started unexpectedly in early 2020, really February 1st, 2020, in the middle of the night, when I was rocking my baby who was crying at all hours and thinking about a story of a 15-year-old girl who I had recently read days after he was born, of the story of a 15-year-old girl who was missing for an entire year, and she was finally found when a Pornhub user tipped off her mother that she was found in 58 videos being raped and abused on the site, and they were able to locate her and help her. And there was another, this was at the very end of 2019 when these headlines were making news. The London Sunday Times had done an investigation into Pornhub, and they found dozens of illegal videos on the site within minutes, even children as young as 3. And so I was up that night thinking about these stories, and a question popped into my mind, which was, how did this happen? Because this is the world's largest and most popular porn site. They have this global brand that everybody seems to trust. And I decided to test the upload system for myself. And I learned what millions of people already knew, because at that time they had 6.8 million uploads to the site in 2019 that had gone through the exact same process that I did. And that was that all it took was an email address to upload user-generated homemade sex videos to the site. And because of that, the site had become infested with videos of real sexual crime. And so that kind of just was so alarming. The implications of that, I think at the time they had almost 11 million videos on the site and 40 million images. And just to think that all of those videos were uploaded without verifying that an ID to make sure that they weren't children, or verifying a consent form to make sure they're not a rape or trafficking victim, and that the site was full of awash with illegal content, and felt like I have to sound the alarm on this. This is not okay. So burst of inspiration, started the hashtag Trafficking Hub, and a Twitter account with a few thousand followers, and people started to pay attention. And one follower turned the hashtag into the logo of Pornhub, Trafficking Hub, and kind of used that and sent that. And one other follower said, "Oh, you should start a petition," and just did that. I wrote an op-ed that actually helped a lot, and I copied and pasted that into the petition. The petition went viral. And today, on that petition, we have 2.3 million signatures from every country. But that was the genesis, like that night, and that kind of organic, unexpected moment was what spiraled into the Trafficking Hub movement.
So is the mission just to go after Pornhub? Like, where are you with all of that? Because I know, obviously, Visa, MasterCard pulled out. Now they're, I think, only taking crypto, and we can get into like the evolution of how their company has changed since then, because it's been a drastic change for that company. So does it end with Pornhub, or what is like the overall mission of Trafficking Hub?
Yeah, Trafficking Hub is specifically about holding Pornhub accountable for the global monetization and distribution of criminal content, including child abuse, rape, sex trafficking, and all forms of non-consensual content, image-based sexual abuse, which, many people know that as revenge porn, but, we don't like to call it porn because it's not porn, it's criminal content. So that is the mission of Trafficking Hub, is to hold Pornhub and its executives accountable, really to shut down Pornhub. Like, that was the call to action, when realizing how much of that content was non-consensual, being monetized for profit knowingly. And I think like the details that are in the book, I think those are really important for people to understand why a call to shut down the site. It seems severe, right? It seems extreme in some, to some people, but when you realize the depths and you peel back the onion layers of complicity and knowing complicity of Pornhub and its executives in doing this and destroying and shattering the lives of countless victims, it's like the only response feels like severe actions, severe harm deserves severe consequences. And if we're ever to really bring true justice to victims and then be a deterrent for other abusers, so they feel like this is not the cost of doing business, like there will be a real consequence. Um, the call to action is to shut down Pornhub. But I think what's important is that it's not enough to just hold one company and its executives accountable, although it's important to bring healing to victims and closure to have accountability, but to implement policies to make sure it doesn't happen again. So, that specifically for Trafficking Hub and the work that I'm doing is we're calling for mandatory third party age and consent verification for every individual and every user generated porn video on every site that's distributing user generated porn. So basically like 2257, but applied to modern pornography distribution.
So are you suggesting that would just be for the people that were uploading or also the consumers?
So this is for people who are uploading or
Mhm.
in the video. So,
Okay.
verifying the uploader because, in 2020, people could just anonymously upload even using a VPN. So not only just an email address and a fake username, but they could even mask their location with
Mhm.
VPNs. So complete anonymity. And, Pornhub had developed a mirror site on the dark web even for further, privacy and anonymity and viewing that content. But this is focused on those who are in the videos.
Mhm.
Although there's a wave of concern right now and legislation and action to protect kids from accessing that content. And I think that is a very important initiative because I think adult content needs to be for adults and of adults. And so